So I just want to lay out kind of my formula for starting a company. And I've started 7 companies now, and I always kind of run through this checklist, and I fail every time. And the most important thing is there are no formulas, right? At the end of the day, you have to do what you love, and you have to do it even though people tell you it'll never work. But that being said, if there was a formula, I would put it something like this, and I think it applies everywhere in the world. It applies in Malaysia, it applies in Silicon Valley. The most important thing is pick a great co-founder. You can do a company on your own, but it's like you can, in theory, raise a child on your own, but you probably shouldn't. So you need someone who's going to be there with you. And a co-founder is someone who's going to have very high intelligence, very high energy, and very high integrity. The intelligence is a given. These people should be very smart. Hopefully they make you feel dumb, or they're not smart enough. They should be extremely hardworking. A founder is someone who never has to be motivated. You should not have to be telling them to do their job. And the integrity piece is important because if you get the other 2 and you don't get the 3rd, then you've got a smart, hardworking crook who's going to cheat you. And that's the worst kind of person to be paired up with. You need to pick a very large market, and I think that is an advantage that you have on the doorstep to Asia that the rest of us do not in Silicon Valley. The markets here are much, much larger, and they're growing much, much faster. So pick something that's very large so you can grow into it. Notice I don't talk about the idea. I think ideas are almost irrelevant. There are lots and lots of smart people who sit around and have ideas all day long. Ideas are worthless. I can give you 1,000 good ideas after this meeting. Come up and ask me. But the more important thing is that you pick a large space that you're knowledgeable and passionate about, and then you will figure out what the right thing to do within that space is. Do not go around telling people, I have a great idea, now give me money. That never works. It's rather you should say, this is a space where there's a huge market, I'm really knowledgeable and passionate about it, here are the kinds of things that I could do, here's the great person that I have doing it with me, and here's the minimum viable product that we have built that will show that we can test in the marketplace. So basically, you do want to build something, thanks to all the leverage that I talked about, you can actually build and deploy something before you go and raise money, especially if you have good coders on your team. You can iterate it to the point where you get what Andreessen calls product market fit, where your product matches up to what the market needs. And then you go and you raise money from people you trust, and you use that money to scale. So that's basically it, here to talk about the revolution that happened in Silicon Valley and I think how it's rolling on to the rest of the world. And I think it's an inspirational message.